Hey, I'm Lindsay.
I'm Corey.
And we're the Hiers fam.
Hiers fam.
Family.
Family farm. I'm Corey. I'm 28 years old, and this is my wife, Lindsay, who's 31.
And he's 30. He's not 28, just so you know.
Oh, yeah. I don't know why I keep doing that. I don't know. I don't remember.
You don't remember your ages?
I don't remember what we did before the kids got in here.
So we've decided to start a podcast, whether we feel like people are going to watch it or not, I don't know. But we've decided to take on a venture of us posting maybe bi-weekly of updates because we have some big life changes that are happening.
Yep, we're moving to North Carolina.
Just drop the bomb straight off the bat.
Why not? Okay.
And just going to share with you guys the story of how this all happened.
Oh, we're from Alabama.
Yes, we live in Alabama currently. Lower East Alabama. Almost in Florida. We're basically like right there.
Basically Florida.
Basically Florida. I grew up, born and raised on the Emerald Coast of Florida.
I was born in Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Yay.
Corey and I met how long ago?
What?
We've been almost married for 10 years, but we met in 2011. I can't do math, it's late.
12, 13. 13.
13 years ago?
Yeah.
We met in 2011 in a small town in northwest Alabama. Met in 2011, engaged in 2013.
She was in ministry school. I was a high school dropout. I was flirting with all the ministry girls and volunteering at church. I was a good volunteer.
He was a good volunteer. He showed up every time I asked him to.
And she was in ministry school getting her
non-accredited degree. So we got married in 2014, and in the fall of 2014, we moved down to this area that we're currently in. We've been here for a while. We've had 2 babies in this area. Our firstborn is 7. When he was 2, I decided to go back to school, and I got my degree in radiology and became an x-ray tech, and I did on-the-job training and became a mammogram tech. And so that's what I have been doing since about 2019. I've been doing radiology.
And I did a 4-week course in 3 weeks and got my CDLs.
Yeah, we've tried to put him through school several times, and
I tried.
He has good intentions every time. Very good intentions.
I'm on site training type guy.
Yeah. So he's been truck driving.
8 years.
Yeah.
What?
I have mastered being a primary parent all these years. We make it work between the 2 of us. Like I said, been mammogram tech. I had been at the facility I was at since 2020 is when I started there, and was just a tech for a while up until about a year ago, and then for some reason they decided to make me a supervisor, and I did that for a little while. But there were some changes that were being made from a corporate level that I was not comfortable with and didn't feel comfortable doing those changes. So I decided that I was going to step down. When all of that started happening, I decided to panic job apply, for lack of better words, to other facilities. I applied to a facility where my parents are, and I applied to a facility where we have some friends in North Carolina. I did not think.
My family.
Yes, his family. These people are, I mean, they've raised him essentially. Without going into details of all of that, they basically raised Corey.
I was 16 when I moved in with a 20-year-old that has guardianship over me.
Yeah. I joke
what
with
could
him.
go wrong?
I joke with him being Matt. I joke with him about he's my father-in-law and the grandfather of our children.
Youngest grandfather ever.
I applied to those jobs and I did not think anything was going to come of them because they had both been posted for 30 plus days. And if anybody's been job looking, you know, if something's been posted for more than a couple weeks, it's probably been filled. Long story short, I applied to those before I had even turned in my notice at work. I was very hopeful that work was going to get better. I was in a meeting where I was kind of having my I can't do this moment and got a phone call from that facility in North Carolina wanting to speak with me about a job opportunity.
Me not knowing any of that.
I
knew Panama, but
he didn't know about it at all. I had just did it because I saw it was available, and he has always wanted to move.
I've been trying to move with my brothers for about 5 years now.
Yeah, and I've always been the holdup because I enjoy being close to my family and my parents. But I knew that he wanted to be close to his family. So anyways, I called the facility back the very next day and I spoke with her on the phone and she checked all my boxes. And I told her it was an informal inquiry, I should say. And I kind of just asked the questions that I needed to ask to make me feel comfortable to step into that role. And I told her that I needed to talk with my husband because I had not even told him that I had applied to the job in North Carolina.
I had a long week at work.
So, and at this point, I had already turned in my notice in. Like, at this point at work, I had turned in my notice in. I was basically working out my 2 weeks notice. Like, I was done that very next Wednesday, and this was the Friday before. So he gets home, and I filmed him's reaction of me telling him.
You tell me.
North Carolina?
Yeah.
For real?
For real.
For real?
I have no idea what the pay is yet. And I told her preferably I would want to wait for the kids to finish out school year. And she said that she actually will have a position available then because she has somebody moving with military, but regardless, she could make me a position.
Really?
And I have like 4 different facilities to choose from.
For real?
And they're within 30 minutes driving of Charlotte.
For real? Yo, I'm down. Let's go. I'm gonna call Matt. Are you for real? Are you down to do that?
And I knew exactly the area she was talking about as soon as she said that, because I was like, there's no reason for a random place in North Carolina. It's specifically where my family's at. I was like, are you for real? My heart sank down to my butt. I was like, let's put the house on the market right now. Let's go. And she was like, wait, I hadn't even had an interview. I was like, who cares? Let's go. And yeah.
Yeah, the lady that I had been talking with, she was actually on vacation. Like, I talked to her literally before she left for vacation. So I had to wait a whole week to find out if I could even get an interview with her. And of course, that Monday morning that she was back in the office, I was like, hey, ma'am, can we come meet you on Friday? And of course, she was ecstatic. I went and I toured the facility. It was all wonderful.
Graham's only 3, so it's not a big deal. He probably won't even remember Alabama. Jackson, he's just now starting to have friends, like best friends and stuff like that. Kids across the street and behind us, and kids in school, sports. But as soon as we got up there, he connected with his cousins so fast. And then it was like pulling teeth trying to get him to come back with us because we had to come back to Alabama and connected with Sunday school. He doesn't. He has a hard time paying attention. It doesn't hurt that his uncle is the children's pastor. So as soon as we asked him, like, what did Uncle Matt teach you? He goes, something about patience. Okay, man. Well, at least you got that. Graham, we asked him. He said, no. But that's his answer for everything. That and why. But we got up there, talked to them, our family, about, how the door kind of opened for us and how stuff had been lining up for them.
Kind of before we didn't even know about it.
In a God manner.
Yeah.
Of like doors opening for them, kind of, and like for them to set stuff in place for us to be able to come in a God manner, was pretty wild, especially for Ryan, which is crazy to think about, but that's his story. We'll leave it at that. But our story, we got up there, we watched ball, and Jay loved it. They're a little bit more competitive than he is. He hasn't had that extra juice yet to get him to kind of like, I want that. And I believe like my family and his family will definitely pull it out of him for sure. Him and Bennett were already
tit for tat.
Yeah. Well, I could do this. And then we looked at some houses. Our realtor, we loved her. We loved her a lot.
We asked for opinions from our family that's up there of who to use, and I said, who would y'all recommend? And I got sent a contact information for one of the realtors up there, not really knowing who she was or who she was to them. And then, finding out the relationships of how everybody's connected after the fact, but reached out to her to set up some house showings. And we didn't realize, but the weekend that we chose to go up there, they were actually having somebody come for a spot for the ministry, like coming to also inquire about joining the ministry at the church there that our family is a part of. And she got confused and thought that we were that couple.
She kept on asking me if I was ready for choir practice. Oh, what are you talking about? It's like, yeah, I'm ready. I was just joking the first time. The last time, I kind of got a little snooty. I was like, first off, you don't tell me what I'm going to do. I was like, I'm not getting up at 6 o'clock to lead worship. You're out of your mind. I didn't realize I was leading worship on Sunday. She goes, well, you are, so you better get ready. I was like, don't tell me what to do, lady. Like, I just got in my car and I was like, what just happened? And then she texts us back, realizing I had made a fool of myself, which we didn't think that at all. It was funny.
No.
It was really funny.
Still, you're my favorite Anderson family member, okay?
But yeah, it was funny because my family's already connected in the church, and they realized, oh, this is you're Matt's brother. I was like, yeah, I'm Matt's brother. And even when we went through we did a school tour, and some of the students even knew. It was like, is this your brother? And I was like, yeah, I'm his brother. He's like, do you really have a matching brand? I was like, what? What are you talking about? And so stories have been told about us, or about me and my wife, but it's pretty funny. Everybody kind of connecting and seeing who I am to the stories of them too. It's pretty great.
Yeah. I feel like our trip up there, like the build up of it all, us kind of knowing where it was all headed to. Because we knew before we went up there that we were probably going to be moving there. And so it was, I mean, we were about 90% sure that it was happening going
Now,
up there.
I can get a job anywhere because of my license. I can get a job pretty much anywhere. It's if I want to pursue that job, because anybody's going to take a truck driver. They're like, yeah, but I need to make sure pay is lined up, the days at the house line up, because I don't want to just move and not be at home, kind of like I am right now. So I'm also studying to get some more endorsements on my license that help me be home daily.
Yeah.
Because I already feel like I kind of miss some time with my kids, even though I still see them 3 nights out of the week. I'm missing some stuff, and I don't want to do that anymore. And I want to see them grow in God. Jay is kind of starting where I started in church, and Graham's kind of just a baby in it. That's all he's gonna probably know.
Yeah.
Which is partly our fault, which
Yeah.
is, we take responsibility for that. It was just hard here in the place that I'm in to go anywhere because of some church hurt, some people that I know, and not being able to get past well, you're still this boy, you're not this man anymore, which is, I have little issues with, to be honest. So it's when we make this step, we plan on going all in, being involved in the church, getting our kids involved. We've already got them signed up for Vacation Bible School. So
We've already signed them up for the school that's with the church. Just
Right.
waiting to find out if they get in. Their aunt and uncle are the children's pastors, and their other aunt and uncle are the high school youth pastors.
And we got family friends that are the middle school pastors.
Right? So it's all, the way it all is kind of lining up it's crazy. And for those that are looking on the outside in, probably wouldn't understand, the puzzle pieces that are all fitting together to make all of this happen. But I know Corey and I had talked about it while we were in the car driving from one house to another, following our sweet realtor to go look at houses. And him and I mean, it was a very emotional weekend. Like, I felt like I cried happy tears, like excited tears the whole time. Like, constantly, me and Emily, like, need some tissues, gotta blow my nose. Like, I'm an emotional wreck, like, of all the things that are happening, because it was just kind of like God was in the little fabrics woven together of everything that was happening. But Corey and I looked at each other whenever we were driving to one house, and he said, this, and he got emotional talking about it, but we don't deserve any of this that's happening.
Nope.
Because
When I say I'm a truck driver, I'm full blown lately. So it's kind of like a I almost said prodigal son story also. Because in the midst of moving back here from Lindsay being in ministry school, some stuff happened, and I was I was mad at God, and I just was like, whatever, you can take it and shove it. I don't care. If you're gonna put me here and I'm stuck here, then you know what? I'm not gonna ride a fence. Even to the fault of taking Lindsay and the kids down with me, which I'm like she said, we don't deserve any of this. But when she told me, like, she had that, because every time I mentioned moving, I mentioned moving.
Lindsay shuts down.
Yes. I mentioned it 6 months at a time. Like, hey, what about here?
Every 6 months. And no lie. And I even have friends that'll probably watch this and be like, she ain't lying. Like, literally, it almost seems like springtime, every springtime, like around his birthday and around other dates that are, stuff that we remember of him just wanting to get the heck out of Dodge. And us having to have this conversation of put the house up for sale and let's go here, let's do here. I am very much so a creature of habit. I do not like change. I like staying in my routines, and I like staying around people that I know and I love. And I have made very close relationships here with some people that I'm near and dear with. And my parents are only like a hopping, skipping, a jump away.
Yeah, and the people that I did lean on when I was down here, they've moved. They started their career. One's in Mississippi being a doctor. The other one's being a Navy SEAL. Not really. He
just a regular Navy
no,
man.
He's just a Navy dude. Love you, Mike.
But you could be if you wanted to be.
Do it. But so I don't. There's nothing down here that I really need. I can, like I said, I can go anywhere. Start fresh. But it's always been me say something, Lindsay locks down, or where am I gonna work? Not me, but Lindsay. She's like, I want to use my degree or whatever, and which she worked really hard on getting.
I worked lots of hours and lots of time away from not only you, but when you were doing your job and you were away, I was having to rely on his grandmother to help me with Jackson and her financial investment and her investment into helping raise my kid while I did that. I feel like I owe it to her to continue on what she helps me do. And I thoroughly enjoy my job, and she also too is a breast cancer survivor. So that's even just kind of an extra bonus of why I did what I did, is because she opened the door of opportunity for me to do what I do. And I'm eternally grateful for her. I'm not going to cry. And I miss her daily.
Me too. But we went up there. We were very at peace with it. Even I think we went there Friday. You had a job interview. Mm-hmm. We looked at houses.
Oh, we were bam, bam, bam Friday.
Yeah.
We were getting it done on Friday. We was doing business.
What else did we do on Friday?
We school toured that morning. I had my job interview that afternoon, and as soon as I pulled into the driveway from the job interview, we went and looked at houses. During
the school interview, I hadn't seen Ryan yet. So Ryan is the associate pastor, or a associate pastor, high school pastor. And I love him to death. I'd do anything for him. I was 16. I moved in with Matt and Ryan, and both of them very much broke and still trying to take care of me.
They were broke financially.
Yeah. Doing a lot for the ministry, though. But every morning, Ryan or Matt would give me a Hardee's biscuit, take me to morning prayer, try to get me to go to school. And then also they would print T-shirts in the back of the office, and they were like, "We'll give you $20 of our paycheck." They're very, very small paycheck. I'm like, "Okay, boys, we'll go for it. We'll do this." And then, the stuff lined up. We were in a government housing duplex. I was sleeping on a couch for 6 months. And it was just, I would do anything for the boys. And so as soon as I saw Ryan, this lady doesn't know really my connection with him. But she just sees me, I hand her the folder, and I just walk off from her, and I see Ryan, and I'm just like, I bear hug him, and he bear hugs me. Either he's vibrating or I'm vibrating, because we're so
just emotional about
it. And the whole time we were there, he would just stare off, and he would be like, "I can't believe y'all are standing here."
I feel like anytime he saw you, he saw me, he saw Emily, he saw Matt, he saw our kids, he immediately get teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Immediately would get teary-eyed. Just
all our kids.
So much emotion.
So all our kids were in the living room, and Ryan just goes, "I feel like I should just lay hands on him. Just pray for him. Should we pray for him?" If you want to, man, that's fine. And then 10 minutes later, they came in all quiet. What's going on? The lady knocks on. If they say a stranger yelled at them, it was me.
Jackson said, she told me that I was counting too loud and she told me to shut up and go home.
So that happened. We talked to CJ and Jordan while we were there at the tour. Who else did we see?
We saw Chris and Kaylee.
Yeah, Chris and Kaylee. We saw, I can't remember her name, Lancaster.
Jenna.
We saw Jenna. I didn't really see her. She saw her.
I saw her, yeah.
We saw Matt teaching math.
Which was funny. It's really funny, like, because you know all these people before you were in careers, right? Which I think you would find it very weird if you saw me doing my job. I mean, I've kind of seen you do your job before, and I always am like, how do they trust him to do what he does?
They don't really.
Like, they allow you to haul that much weight on a highway with that many people driving, but neither here nor there. But, like, he's very good at his job. You know, it's one of those things.
How many wrecks have I avoided with you in the car?
Lots. But it's one of those things, like, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. When you're in the car with your husband, you're, like, hitting the brakes, you're grabbing the handles, you're, like, trying to drive the car in the passenger seat. Like, imagine doing that while he's driving an 18-wheeler. Like, that just blows my mind. But seeing our friends do their jobs, like walking into school and seeing Ashley teaching a class and seeing Matt teaching a class, I'm like, whoa, we're all adults and we're like actually doing stuff now.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, Matt and Ryan coaching baseball. Oh, that's what we did Friday night. That's what we went to go watch Parker, Roman, and Bennett play ball.
Yeah.
And Ryan and Matt coaching together.
Which was funny.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. And then Saturday, we went to the beach. What else I feel like we did something else on Saturday. We went to the beach, which was beautiful. It wasn't Florida beach, but it was.
No.
It'll do.
It'll do, donkey. It'll do.
It'll do.
Still has the noise. That's all you need, right?
Yeah.
And the sand, it's not white, but I'll get over it.
What else did we do on Saturday?
They all came over and we grilled out, remember?
Yeah. But that morning, like, did we just go to
I
the
went
beach?
thrift store shopping
Oh.
with Emily. We went to all the little thrift stores and looked at all the
Oh,
things.
we went. Okay, we went to the gym. That's right.
Yeah, y'all went and
Saturday
set up.
wasn't that eventful.
It was kind of just a hangout day. Because like I said, we did all of our business on Friday.
Yeah. And then Sunday, which we had to come back, but I told Linz, like, I'm avoiding that 10-hour drive. I'll get out. So we'll stay here for a little while. Went to church. During the message was awesome. It was weird being back in church. When was the last time we went?
It's been well over a year and a half, to be honest. I mean, we've watched some services online sometimes,
Yeah, but
like
physically being in a building.
being in church, I feel like probably it was the Easter that we tried to take Graham, and he had
I didn't even go in the. Yeah.
He had a meltdown in the daycare center there, and Corey had to sit in the car with him because
I was
he
in the foyer. Oh,
yeah.
I was already bound to determine I didn't want to go in there. But that was just an excuse.
We knew.
Yeah. Well, we went to church. The pastor was awesome. Kaylee opening up service was awesome. Strange seeing.
It's so crazy to see people that you kind of ran alongside with, like, in the background for so many years.
Yeah.
Because how we all know each other is...
We were in the background.
We were in the background.
We were dressed in black with cameras, doing audio, lighting.
Never the forefront. You're always in the background. And so now to see all these people that we kind of were hand in hand with for many years, now seeing them in being in a forerunner position it's pretty cool.
Yeah, knowing that they could do it the whole time.
Because you know their heart. Because you worked alongside and you shared your heart and your dreams and all the things. And
right.
So now seeing them walk out what you know they're capable of doing, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And we're not going up there looking for a ministry position. All we want to do is be successful and watch our boys grow up in the Lord and growing with their family and with buddies that they can run alongside with and have the same heart for God. They don't have to have the same goals, but for them to have a pure heart, a sound mind, like we pray every night, it's going to be amazing.
I have felt, and I've told many people this that are kind of in our inner circle of that we share all this with, that we've talked about, like my parents and my close friends and stuff. I felt like since all of this has been unwinding and unfolding, I don't know how to explain it, but there is such an urgency that we do this and that we make this move. And I've told Corey this, I feel like his life depends on it and his eternity depends on it, but my kids' eternity depends on it. I've always kept a relationship with the Lord. I've not been, in a physical church, but I feel like I have always stayed true to who I am in Christ as best as I can in everything that has been going on in our lives. But I feel that there is like a pressure, like if you don't do it, almost like you're going to miss your mark kind of thing. And I've explained that to him and talked to him about it. And he has an incredible testimony and a story to tell. And I know that God is going to open up the door for him to be able to do that because it's his story to tell. It's not my story to tell. It's his story to tell. And I know that through his story and his testimony that the Lord could use it greatly because of things that he's went through in his life, because he has a pretty incredible story.
You said you weren't going to cry.
You said you weren't going to cry.
I'm not crying.
You're crying. What
I
are
cry
you
over
talking about?
Bluey. What are you talking
Stop
about?
it. But, and I know that our kids, like, they're still young, and we teach them and we pray with them as much as we can, and have through all these years, even with us not being consistent and being in a physical church building. They have always been.
Yeah, Jay was in the car and he goes, "What's church about again?" And I was like, "Sorry, man, I messed up. Like,
Yeah.
while we were there, I was like, I'm sorry, dude. Just kind of being transparent with him, like, I messed up. I'm sorry." He probably doesn't really understand what I meant by that, but I know, and he'll know one day. He'll know everything one day, but right now
He's still little, and he still needs to be a kid.
Yeah.
He'll get to hear all the nitty gritty of everything one day.
And that's my main thing that I preach to him is like, hey man, I want you to be a kid. Like, even when I tell him to grow up, I'm like, hey, just grow up a little bit. You can take the trash out now because Daddy doesn't want to anymore. But during the message, that what's his name,
Pastor Sherwood.
Sorry. He was talking about devil kind of keeping you contained, and he doesn't want you to get out, and he doesn't want you to be in place and everything. And even during Adam's fall, he could still hear God coming through the woods. Even when he was scared, he could still hear God coming through the woods. And you want to do the clip? This is part of it.
Make sure you're in the right place. Proper people placement is the most important place in God you can ever be. The Bible says in 1 Corinthians 12, and he placed some in the church. You know why you're here? Because you were placed here.
And we met everybody, basically, except the pastor and his son. And so we even met Miss Kim, the pastor's wife. She was amazing. Even when we were leaving, she was like, "I hope y'all get up here quicker than y'all think y'all will," and which was very sweet of her. But that's kind of a crazy thing to start preaching, and us being in the seats, and me kind of having my walls up, especially being in church. I'm also a people watcher, so like even during messages or worship, I'm watching people. Especially the dude that said I had Wolverine hair. So we were just like, okay, we're listening. We think this is our place. that we're needing to be, and God is wanting us to be, to grow even more in Him and to raise our kids. So just a bunch of things are happening. Our house is going up for sale today. So if anybody wants to buy it, I ain't posting it on here because I don't want anybody crazy to show up at my house. But if you see it, you can have it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Crazy things happening.
Anything else?
No. The goal is to finish out Jay's school year, which will go through right at the end of May. And then at that point, it's just based off of when our house sells. I tentatively start my new setup with my job in July, but it can be sooner if need be, or later if need be. But
Yeah. And I'm studying getting my endorsements for kind of home daily jobs. If not right away, I'm just going to transfer out of the company that I'm with up to North Carolina, which will be kind of tough. I'll be less at home, but you know, with pre-approvals on houses and stuff, it'll kind of help. So
the boys will hopefully start school in the fall, and we'll start living life. And our goal with this is to take you on the journey of what all we got going on.
yeah, and when this started happening, I also felt like we've kind of been hidden, even with us not deserving this and stuff like that. Even before we moved, we felt like we've been hidden. And we're also kind of recluse to ourselves.
We're very much so homebodies.
And we're homebodies. So we kind of feel, even this is so uncomfortable for us to do. And it's kind of making us grow, and we're kind of putting ourselves out there to kind of help people know us and know our kids. That way people feel safe around us and our kids, being community wise, like being safe around everybody. Jackson's only met Ryan maybe once or twice. I think once actually. And immediately I told him, I was like, that's your uncle. And with Ryan's presence around him, Jackson felt safe. Even with Ryan or Matt, he felt safe. And he's seen Matt a bunch of times. He was just hugging on him and loving on him like family. And with that community, I kind of want that for them. I want them to feel safe around everybody. And then also people's kids feeling safe to come around to us because we're new. And I don't want no stranger around my kids. So I can imagine, especially with my Harry Potter tattoos. And I could have, I don't want to say like I walk around with an attitude, but
you have a hard exterior.
Yeah. But as soon as you get to know me,
he's a teddy bear.
I don't know about a teddy bear, but I don't know how to take anything serious. Because even now we have kids that live across the street and behind us that feel safe at our house, even if they annoy the crap out of me.
You know how it is whenever it's your kids, it's okay. But if it's other kids, it's like you love them, but it's like they're not your kids, you know?
Right.
And I know that all parents feel that way.
And I blame Brian Beasley for some of the things that he's called over me. And with my background not having a father, and then calling me to be a father to other kids that need fathers, and I hate saying that out loud because I've heard it over and over again. And even when Brian prayed it over me, I was like, whatever. It's just kind of coming full circle. Even with Roman and Parker not even knowing me, they were very very comfortable. Even with, when was the last time I seen them? No, what, Thanksgiving, that same time that
They were little then.
yeah. And so it's just everything's lining up. Might not be the full story, but it's part of the story that we're going through right now, and we're excited, and we're as ready as we'll ever be.
Yeah, super nervous, but like an excited nervous. Like we met with our realtor that's helping list our house today. She's been on a journey with us since we bought this house, and she helped us sell one of Granny's houses, and you know, she's kind of been with us since before we even had a second child, and kind of watched all of this unfold. And we had tried to sell our house a year ago because we had intended on trying to buy a house with more property. We have a decent amount of property here, but we wanted more acreage because we were trying to do homestead and stuff.
I'm a farm boy.
He is. Like I said, grew up on the coast of Florida. We did not have a farm.
Now, I lived in the suburbs, but growing up, like, I was on 5 acres. So that 5 acres with a goat, geese, you know, all the stuff, roosters. We got chickens in our backyards and less than half an acre.
Yeah.
And then 3 dogs and a cat. It's just part of me.
All that to say, she was kind of with us during that process last year, and then we ended up, I was a nervous Nelly the whole time because we listed our house to sell contingent on us finding somewhere to go. And if you're familiar with the area that we live in, it is a hot market because of the school system here. And there were things that were coming available that it was in our price range because we were going to try to downsize to then buy land. Nobody would accept our offer because it was contingent on our house selling, and they could just give it to somebody that had no contingencies because so many people were coming in. But we couldn't get it to line up just right. All that to say, we took the house off the market, and I told her today, now I know why we weren't able to sell our house. And her words exactly were, it was all part of the plan. We just didn't know what it was yet. So now we have no contingencies on our house selling because
we're moving.
I just need it sold, baby. Somebody come make me an offer. I would like asking. Make me an offer. I love this home. It's been wonderful, especially with all the houses that we've come from. This has been...
Yeah, we came from trash.
Me and him, we was broke as a joke for a long time. We've come a long way, baby.
Her dad was paying half my rent before she was even living with me.
I had no idea. We've come a long way.
But now, 10 years being married.
Almost.
4 houses now. This will be our 4th house that we're moving into. Mm-hmm. And 2 kids.
2 kids, 3 dogs, cat.
And we'll try to get our chickens to come with us.
It was going to be 9, but as of yesterday, we're down to 8.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about it. Stupid dogs. Anyways, we'll see how this goes. We're going to try to do this every 2 weeks. Because we're not that interesting. I mean, we are.
Not.
We are, but we're not. We think we're funny, but we think we're funny. And usually we're making fun of people, so I don't think that'll work.
That's frowned upon.
I don't think that'll work. Unless it's Jessica, and you know who you are.
Love you, girl.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Bye.